Now I'm going to paint the face and the hands of this figure. First off, the first undercoat, I'm going to start with a medium flesh tone. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint all the flesh pieces, but this is the secret. Don't paint right hard up against the clothing and the hand. You want to leave a somewhat of a fine black line type thing that distinguishes a difference between the hand and the clothing. Same here. You've got his hands that are coming around on this side of the gun. Don't worry about if you hit the strap there a little bit like I have. I think I need a coffee, I'm shaking again. And that's the hands. Now, the same flat flesh tone, very carefully with your fine brush, paint his face. Now the steps that I've gone to paint this figure, you wouldn't do this step if you're a dry brush painter. Like my Russians, there's a lot of dry brushing involved simply because there's so many. My Germans, well, you only usually have between 6 and 9 per platoon, so it's nowhere near as heavy in the painting, so you can go to that extra detail. So if you're going to dry brush paint the face, you would do all that first. You wouldn't be doing this at this stage because you're going to get it all over your marks and stuff that are, you know, take time. So now with that, we're going to wash it in brown shade. So I'm going to add the brown shade to all the paint, the face and hands, all the flesh tone parts. Be generous, not to the point of stupidity where you start getting wash and everything over your uniform. Get it onto your face. Make sure you get some of that nice brown contrasting. This is the one time I do like using brown shade. Get it up into the face, like up hard up against the helmet. That gap that you left, you want it there. As you can see, I've got a little bit too much wash here. For some reason, it wants to drag that way, so we just pull it out and rewash very carefully. Then what we do after that is we add medium flesh tone and flat flesh tone in a certain way, and that's the face done. So that'll be the next part. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a couple of nights in the making of this video, in between little filming pieces, and I went back and I viewed what I'd already done, and I was up to the face, and I said I was going to add some flat flesh tones and stuff like that. But before we do any of that, after we've painted the face section, as you can see there, which is in the medium flat tone, in the medium flesh tone, we now add a brown shade wash to all the skin areas. So all we do is wherever the skin, we wash all the skin in the brown shade. I'm trying to take care not to get paint on some of the already worked surfaces. And it's just as simple as that. All that's going to do is give you some shadowing and a little bit of depth in the miniature's face. It's quite hard to get that sort of detail in these miniatures because of their size, so adding a wash is a very very good way of doing that. Let's see if we can get some of the light here. So we just got the wash on the face. I'll let that dry and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. The wash has dried on the skin, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start blending the skin tones back in. I'm going to start off first with the medium flesh tone. So we're going back over with what our base coat is. Because we've added the wash, it's darkened it all up. The wash has set into the crevices and stuff like that, and it's giving you that depth of shadow. So what we want to do now, if I can get this to, I'll see if I can just get this to focus in close. We're going to hit the raised areas of the model's skin toned areas. Now we're not dry brushing this. Reason is we want a more of a natural look. Dry brushing is sort of it's a good way of doing it, dry brushing. I always call it a cheat's way. I think this is the way, this effect that you get by doing this is far greater. Now guys, this is a preference thing. If by all means don't, I don't dislike dry brushing. I think it's a very valid tactic when it's pulled off right. If you feel comfortable dry brushing all these skin areas, by all means go ahead. So we've got something like that, and you can see it's starting to come out, the detail now. Now the face. Now we want to hit the bridge of the nose. If I can get this to, so we want the bridge of the nose. Like so, and then we have a cheekbone. Pretty much what you want to do, that wash you added gives you a bit of a map of raised areas on where to paint. And one of the most trickiest bits is this cheekbone in behind the gun. Something like that. Simple as that. You might be saying, oh, that looks like shit up close. From a distance, it's starting to give you some definite shadows of the face. Now, we are now going to go and do the extreme high areas of the model in the flat flesh of the face and hands and stuff like that, in the normal flat flesh. Now, I've got a bit here. What I mean by that is the very, very extreme high parts. For instance, his thumb here on the gun. We're just going to give that a flick like that. This bit down here, and this bit here is the bit you don't go overboard with. You just get the bits, I guess, that you feel the light catches. For instance, to segregate his fingers. It's coming out fairly bright on the camera, but it's once it dries, it settles right down. I can see that hand here. And that's pretty much the hand. And now the face. Now you want the very, very bridge of the nose. Just the top bridge of the nose. And then we want the very center of that cheekbone. And we want to just get the chin. And we just want one little dot on that cheek in there. Like that. It's as simple as that. And that's going to give you a very defined face without dry brushing. As I said, guys, if you're going to dry brush it, you wouldn't paint all the detail on the helmet. You wouldn't go with all the detail on the schmocks and that sort of stuff. You would do the face first, then you'd go back over and work your the rest of the miniature then. But if you're going to paint this way, by all means you can leave the face to last. You can really see a lot of the character now starting to come out in this guy. So next we'll have a look at the gun.